Never will understand why all of my videos look like they're slanted. I have it on a tripod that is even. I don't get it. What's up, YouTube? How you feeling? How you living? What's good? It's your girl Francine. Today is Tuesday, and my God, is this been a ordeal? Is the word I want to use. Okay, I attempted to upload this video, not this video, because I'm redoing this video, last week on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, it was Thursday, and it would not upload. I uploaded a video that had all types of clips, it had all types of music from the movie Purple Rain, because I am doing another review of Purple Rain, the movie and the album. But I did this very well put together. I did all this stuff to put this video up, and YouTube said,
Sis, press people say you can't put this up nowhere. Not any country. Not nowhere. Okay? Or we're blocking it. Period.
So I was like, okay. So I took some of the clips out. I was like, you know what? Y'all want y'all money? Fine. Y'all can keep it. I'm not going to use any of the music. I'll just use parts of the movie. And I tried to re-upload it. So, I am not letting them win, okay? I want to do this because my mother suggested this movie, and I give my mom what she is for, okay? So, Mom, this one's for you. But I'm doing a review of Purple Rain. I don't care. Prince people can come fight me at this point, because I'm trying. I watched this movie. I wrote all these notes. We're making this video, okay? Period. So, instead of like I did in that review, cutting some clips, instead of being like, I'll just show you. I can't tell you I'll just show, because I said that multiple times. That's why I couldn't really use the footage from that. I am going to do a very in-depth description of this movie, and I'm not going to do an album review, but I am going to talk about the actual songs in the movie. I really wish I could have saw that video, because but let's get into it. Okay, so Purple Rain, if you've never seen this movie, I was going to do it for a girl trying to take your black card, but that would have been a whole lie, because I've seen this movie so many times, and still somehow, some way, I did not remember a lot of these parts in this movie. So my memory, as we've already established in a couple of other Girl Trying to Take Your Black Card videos, is washed, okay? my memory, you know, a little too many jungle juices, a little too much falling, okay? Your girl's memory is not good. But we start this movie off, I do remember this part because this is a memorable part. We start with, dearly beloveds, we have gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life. Electric word, life means forever. Now, somebody all the time, but I'm here to tell you, there's something else. Now, if you don't know where that is the intro to Let's Go Crazy. Now, when I did my song review, I put this song in there, but you have to listen to the song. If you never listened to the song, listen to the song, okay? It's such a good song. It's a fun song. It's a great start to an album. It's a great start to a movie. And at this time in this movie, we see Apollonia, Miss Girl, showing up to, you know, this city that they're in, and she goes in a cab and dishes on her cab. She's like, all right, bye. And dishes on her cab. And she runs to this hotel. She gets to the hotel room. She doesn't have a lot of money, as you can kind of tell from, you know, the little setup. And then we have Mr. Morris Day and his little scarf. I gotta show at least a picture of that, because I'm like, sir. And his little scarf, vacuuming his floor, and he is getting himself together to also come to the club that Prince is at, because he is about to perform, right? And again, love the music, love this part of the movie. It's very fun. It's very introductory. We see the people doing stuff and things. And so Apollonia comes from her hotel. She comes to the club, and she's trying to get a job. She's like, I need to talk to the manager. The manager needs to see me. And he was like, yo, the manager don't talk to people like that. You lying. And she sneaks her way into the club and talks to the girl Jill and gives her information. And it's like, I was telling them to call you. And she was like, I don't got a number. And I'm like, I remember back in the day when people didn't have phones on them all the time. But, you know. So that's the beginning of the movie. And of course, Let's Go Crazy is going on this whole time. So the next thing we see is The Time, right? If you don't know, The Time is Morris Day's group. And a legitimate real group, so look them up as well. And they play one of my jams because I love this song, Jungle Love. Oh we oh. Which is a good song. Again, look it up. I put it in the video before, but look the song up. And at this point, we see Prince meeting Apollonia in one of the most awkward meetings I've ever seen in a movie. And I want to put this clip in. If you see it, they let me do it. But because my guy literally walks in, sees this girl, stares at her, puts his sunglasses on, and just stands behind her. And she's talking to him while he's standing behind her, like smiling. And I'm like, is this how people flirt in the 80s? Is that how it was? If you were alive in the 80s, please let me know, because I was not even thought of yet. But I need to know if this is what people were doing, because I don't know what was going on. Okay, so the next thing we see after the whole club scene is we cut to Prince, driving us to his house where he lives with his parents. And one of the very big parts of this movie is that his father is abusive to his mother. And his mother apparently wants to go out and do stuff, and he wants her to stay in the house, and she was like, why don't you ever let me have any fun? I'm just going out. And he slaps her. Abuse is triggering for me, so I take this in because I know it's part of the movie, but like, and so the next thing we see after seeing that, because that is important to the movie, is we see Morris Day talking to the manager of the club, and he's like, hey yo, you need to fire Prince because he's not ready to be real. He's not ready to be the big time. He and his band have their own problems, and he just like his parents, who were apparently also musicians, and they were apparently, not ready for the big time either. And he's like, you need to fire them. I have a girl group that I can put together for you, and we'll have them your next group, and you can replace him with them. And so the next thing we see is kind of an allusion to the whole the band has a problem situation, because Prince goes to the club and he sees girl Jill, and Jill's like, hey, your band was here, they left because you was late, and they wanted me to give you this cassette tape, because back in the day that's what we listened to, of them and their song. They wanted you to play it, and he was kind of just nonchalant about it. He didn't really want to do it. And as we see continuously throughout this time, the band has been trying to get him to play their stuff, and he's kind of on a back and forth about it. Okay, so these are all establishing things, right? So the next thing we see is Morris Day is having his little girl group auditions, okay? And he has these two girls in there dancing, or whatever the heck you want to call it, and he is sitting there on his little chair with his little lackey boy, and I don't remember what his name is, little lackey boy, but in the 80s things were different. There was androgyny, that was different ways of expressing yourself, like there is still now, so I'm not assuming anything. But my guy was kind of close, and he does stuff in this movie where I'm just like, he don't pay you enough for this, because nobody can pay me enough. No ma'am. Because literally the same scene, we see them, they leave the girl group auditions, he's not satisfied with them, he needs to get a new person, and they're walking, and they run into this girl who's just yelling at Morris Day, oh, you stood me up. And Mr. Lackey Man decides to pick this woman up and throw her in a trash can. Yeah, see, I don't remember that part. I don't remember that being a part of the movie, but apparently it was. So here we are. So then we see Prince, he's walking the streets, he sees Apollonia at, kind of doing some window shopping, and he starts flirting with her in the most weirdest way possible. He just takes this little thing she has on her boots, and he starts playing with it and runs away. She's like, oh, give it back, and he's like, no. And somehow this is, again, flirting. Y'all tell me. And she gets on his motorcycle and they drive off. And the next song that plays is Take Me With You, which is a good song. If you've never heard that song, it's very cute, very kind of like a good love song. It's like I don't care where we are, I don't care what we do, just take me with you. It's cute. And they're driving the countryside and they go to this lake. Now, if there is any scene that I want to put in this movie, in this video from this movie, it is this scene because it has the best line from this movie. And if you've ever watched Dave Chappelle, which we can't watch it now because he doesn't want people to, but if you watched it when it came out and he did the Prince, the Charlie Murphy Prince story, he mentions this in that movie, in that video, in that episode. And it is the part where, Apollonia is like, why can't you help me? I want to be a star. Can you help me become a star? And he's like, no. And she was like, why? And he was like, well, first of all, you wouldn't even pass the initiation. And she was like, the initiation? Like, what is the initiation? He said, well, first, you have to cleanse your body in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
Because you wouldn't pass the initiation.
What initiation?
Well, for starters, you have to purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka.
What?
You have to purify yourself in Lake Minnetonka.
I don't know what that means either, but apparently, that is his little joke, his little way of saying that you wouldn't even be able to do it. And of course, they're at a lake, so she thinks that this is Lake Minnetonka. So sis strips butt-hole naked and jumps in this water. And Prince was like, no, don't do it. And she does it anyway. And she comes out, and he was like, well, first of all, that's not Lake Minnetonka. Which, again, how is this flirting? This is just rude. Mean. But this is, okay, they're a little flirting. They're getting to know each other by him being an a-hole, I guess. I don't know. I don't get flirted with very often, so maybe this is what men do. I don't know. But they drive off in his motorcycle after he insinuates that he's going to leave her there again. But yeah, and so he comes back, he takes her, and they drive off. So the next thing we see is Morris Day and his little lackey guy, and Miss Ma'am is spit shining his shoes, spit shining Morris Day's shoes, literally spit shining my guy's shoes. Now again, I gotta ask, what is the salary? Because I'm not finna do that, okay? Like, I got friends I'm very close with. I'm not doing that, okay? I wouldn't even do that for people I am talking to. So what is going on here? But, to each their own. They are talking about how Morris Day wants him to let him know when Apollonia comes to the club, because he saw her that night and he wants to have her in his new bands. And so they have this little riff about what the code word is. Code word is what? What's the code word? Yes, what? Just stupid, okay? And this is another clip I put in that they would not let me put in for this movie, so I just gave you all the gist. And so the next thing we see is them at the club. There's another band that's performing, and we see Prince and the Revolution are in the back, and they are, the girls are talking about, hey, did you listen to the song we gave you? And he kind of was like, he didn't say no, but he insinuated no. And they're pissed because they're like, you never listen to any of our music and you only want to do your own thing. And then he has a moment with a little puppet, which I also put this clip in because I don't even know how to explain this. It's just weird, okay? And, throughout this movie, everyone does some weird stuff. Again, the 80s, different times. I don't know. Actually, people do weird stuff now that I don't understand, so I thought I was weird. But of course they go out. And they play The Beautiful Ones. Now, The Beautiful Ones is one of my favorite songs because I don't know. It just has such a kind of like a chill beat. It's like a good kind of like cute song. It's not cute. I'm trying to think of I really wish I could put a clip of it in here. I'm gonna attempt to, and if it isn't in here, they made me cut it out. But I love this song, and the song is insinuating what's going on, right? So Apollonia comes to the club, Morris Day ends up getting with her, and he says one of the corniest lines I've ever heard, your lips would make a lollipop jealous, or something like that. And I was like, What is flirting? What is going on here? If a man ever said that to me, I'm like,
Like, what? 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 What does that even mean?
but see, again, this might be why nobody flirts with me. So I still don't care. That's not okay for me. I don't care. But then Prince comes out, he sees her with Morris Day, and he's like, is it gonna be him or is it gonna be me? Because I need to know. Okay. Which is in the song. And I thought it was okay. Again, this whole album is a great album by itself, but it really does fit in with this movie. So Apollonia decides, okay, Prince, I want you. Come on. And she goes in the back and she meets him on his motorcycle, and they drive to his house. And his parents, thankfully, aren't being too crazy this night. They're kind of lovey-dovey that night. And so they go to his little area of the house, and they are intimate with each other. And like one of the weirdest scenes ever. Like, they don't actually like insinuate sex. They do, but it's like she still has clothes on and he's, again, I know I couldn't put that in there the first time, but look at the movie because it's weird. Okay. And so after this night of passion, right, Prince drops her off at her hotel, and Apollonia is leaving at her hotel, and she runs into Morris Day. Now Morris Day is telling her, look, I know you want to be a star. You can't be a star with Prince. And his name isn't Prince in this movie, if I'm not mistaken. They don't ever call him by his name, which maybe that was something he wanted. Who knows? But he says, you know, he's not going to care about you. All he cares about is himself. He's not good. He's not good enough to make it. I can make you make it. I can put you in this band and you'll be the next big thing. And, you know, you can become famous. And that's obviously what she came down here for. So she starts getting to thinking and decides, you know what? Fine. She put up a fight in a little bit in the beginning, but she's like, fine, I'll be in your group. And so in this time, Prince starts playing the band's tape that they gave him, right? And this is the first time we hear the song, and it is, of course, by the end we realize, well, if you know anything about the music, it's Purple Rain. Like, the song is Purple Rain, so you know he's gonna end up playing it eventually because that's the main part of the movie. But he gets cut off by playing this song by his parents fighting again, okay? And they start fighting, and you know, he breaks it up between his mom and his dad, and his dad says one of the most toxic lines I've ever heard. He says,
I could love you if you just believed in me.
now, I don't think that's how that works. My guy, if you're beating on a woman, that kind of takes away from your feelings at this point. Like, just break up, please. Because obviously you're not getting what she wants. She's not getting what she wants. Just leave. It's just toxic. And then the fact that you're like, if you just believed in me, sir, that ship has sailed. You done hit this woman at least 3 times in this movie. I don't care. I don't. And of course, you know, he walks off, and Prince goes back to his room, and Apollonia shows up, and she has a guitar to give him, which is a very nice guitar. It's very, very nice, and he's excited. And then she just I'm deciding to be in Morris Day's route, and he slaps her because abuse is obviously a learned behavior, and unfortunately he did not learn that was not a good thing to do after seeing it happen to his mother. So yeah, she doesn't want to be with him anymore, as she should. And the one thing I hated about this movie is that, like, the men abuse the women, and then they're like,
No, I care about you.
Like, sir, you just hit her.
like, I don't want to hear that. Don't. And so Prince gets very emotional, and then comes the song When Doves Cry, right? And this is, I'm 100% sure you've probably heard this song. Even if you're not a Prince fan, you've probably heard this song. And if you're watching this review, you probably are a Prince fan. So I'm 99% sure you heard this song. It's one of his most popular works, and this song is very much, again, in tune with the movie. He says, you know, maybe I'm just like my father, too bold. Maybe I'm just like my mother, she's never satisfied. Which essentially is like, you know, my dad is abusive and strong and doing too much, and my mom is also not very satisfied in her relationship, obviously. And, you know, this is something that I feel like is conflicting inside of me, and this is what it sounds like when doves cry. Which I'm sure has a deeper meaning that I just haven't picked up yet, but still beautiful, okay? And he's riding through, you know, the town, and he's seeing little flashbacks of him and Apollonia together. He's getting a little emotional, and he drives back up to his house and sees his family fighting again. Well, no, actually no. He drives up to his house, he sees his mom sitting on the corner, and he's like, what happened? She's crying. And he gets to the house and he sees all these things broken, and he sees his father in the basement playing the piano. And again, the toxicity comes out, because, you know, he talks about, oh, you know, I could play this without having to write it down, then, like, unlike you, like being toxic to his own son. And then he asks his son, do you have a girlfriend? And he says yes. And he said, are you planning on getting married to her? And he says, I don't know. And then he says, never get married, as if marriage is the problem. Okay, sure. Yeah, maybe you should have never got married. That's a good advice, because you shouldn't have never gotten married too. And so this goes to the next scene of Prince performing at the club, playing Computer Blue, glistening like a glazed donut with his chesticles out, okay? Just playing the guitar, Computer Blue. Which leads into Darling Nikki. But before we get there, Apollonia and Morrissey show up to the club, and that's when he starts playing Darling Nikki, which, if you never heard this song, please look it up. It's one of my favorite songs, which has a very interesting first line, which goes, I met a girl named Nikki. I guess you can say she was sexy. Yeah, I mean, it's effective. And the song is insinuating that the girl Nikki, she is, you know, giving it away to everybody. She, you know, sign your name on a dollar line and Nikki starts to grind, okay? And this is making Apollonia upset, because it's obvious he's talking about her, saying, you know, you would do it for anybody who would give you some fame. And she gets emotional, she runs out, she's crying, and everybody's mad at Prince because he's putting his stuff on the stage. You're not supposed to put your crap on the stage. You're supposed to perform, do your job, and it's not supposed to be personal, right? So the reason why Apollonia and Morrissey came to the club is because they're apparently performing the next day with their new band, Apollonia 6. And, you know, they sing, I'm a sex shooter, shooting right in my direction. And I'm like, this is hella raunchy. This is 80s raunchy. They had these little corsets on, and, you know, they were, you know, and it was cute. It was cute, though. I will give him that. It was cute. But, sis. And Prince comes to this little performance, and he sees her there, and he's kind of getting a little jealous. And, you know, the manager says to him, look, this is the possible new band that I might be replacing you with, because you're not doing your job. Because the manager was mad about him putting his stuff on, you know, like I said, putting his stuff on the stage. He's like, look, Moore's been in my ear, you doing too much, they good, you about to lose your job.
You about to lose your job.
Right, I had to do it. So of course it's putting the heat on him. And so after their performance, Apollonia and Morrissey are walking in this little alleyway, and Prince drives through his motorcycle and literally like hits Morrissey into the alley, like he's out. He takes Apollonia with him, and they go to this little train tracks where I'm like, sir, you can't do better than this. But he takes her to these train tracks and starts trying to do some stuff with her, and she's like, no, I don't want to do nothing with you, and she runs off. And I was like, good sis, good for you. I mean, she ends up back with him, spoiler alert, but you know, it was cute right then. And so Prince goes back home, and then I'm gonna put a trigger warning here, because if you've never seen this movie, trigger warning. So he goes back home, he sees his door wide open, and he goes down to the basement, sees his father, and he has a gun. And he uses the gun on himself, and thankfully he does not die, so that's a good thing. His wife is there, she's emotional, he's emotional, Prince is emotional, they got the cops there talking to him, and it is triggering. It really is. Like, I watched this movie when I was younger, and as an adult, woo child, it is very triggering. It's emotional, even though, like, I will say the acting in this movie is This part definitely gets portrayed very well. I don't know if it's the imagery or just the tension that's really taken from the music and the imagery. It's just really powerful of a scene. And so Prince finally, you know, he's down there after his father passes away. He falls asleep. He finds the music that his father actually wrote down, even though he said he didn't write any of it down. And he falls asleep. He wakes up the next morning and he actually starts listening to the tape that his bandmates made for him, which of course, like I said, is Purple Rain. He starts playing it on the piano, and then we cut to the ending of this movie. So we see, you know, we go back to the club and we see the time, and they perform The Bird, which I hate this song. I hate the dance. I hate the song. This is a very 80s song of just like that era. It's kind of like, you know, any song that has like a dance to it usually sucks. Unless it's like the Electric Slide or something where it's like the full song is the dance. It usually sucks because the song sucks. The song has some good hits, but this song, I did not like it. We see them get off of stage, the time get off of stage. And like most movies in my reviews that I usually do, there's a part in here where I'm like, somebody deserved to get their kicked. And this is the time, because Morris Day and his little peoples come backstage. They pass the revolution in their little dressing room, and they start talking about, oh, you about to get fired, you gonna suck. And then he says, how's the family? Now, if you don't remember, I literally just said his dad just shot himself like that day before. But yeah, see, that would have been the day that I'd have ended up in jail. That's all I'm gonna say. But of course, he's probably not worried about that. He's worried about doing his band and doing his performance. And they go out, the revolution, and Prince is quiet. And he goes to the microphone. He says, "This is dedicated to my father, Francis L. This is written by 2 of my bandmates." And then they start playing Purple Rain. Now, if you've never heard Purple Rain, I don't know where you've been, because this is one of my favorite songs, period. There is no Prince, this album, favorite songs, period. Between the guitar solo, which I really wish I could play because it's so good, the lyrics of this song, the emotion that it triggers, just such a visceral song. And then seeing it alongside the movie, I ain't gonna lie, I cried. I did. I cried because it was beautiful. Okay, it was beautiful. Like I said, the acting is in this movie, but it was portrayed so well to ignite emotion, and that's all that matters, you know. And I felt that song. I started crying. I was like, like I was waving my hands at the people in the movie. I was in it, okay. And you know, Prince, you know, everybody's feeling it. The manager's feeling it. Everyone's feeling it. And he goes off stage after the song. He kind of has like a, oh my God. And he comes back in and everyone's clapping for him. And he sees Apollonia and they kiss. And it's beautiful. Hopefully he learned to stop being abusive. You know what? I'm being pessimistic. But anyway, we go to the next song, which is I Would Die For You. Darling, if you want me to. Which is another amazingly good song. I listen to this song when I'm in, like I used to listen to this song when I was in the car to go to the gym because it hypes you up. Like this is a good hype up song. Because it's a fun little beat. Again, I can't play the music for you because Prince people gonna come for my video. But listen to this whole album, period. End of story. That's the moral of the story. Regardless of how you feel about this review, just listen to the album. Okay, and you know, we see flashbacks. Like I said, his father didn't die. He went to go see his father in the hospital. Him and Apollonia, I want to say this happened before this part. Before this part where, you know, they're in the basement and they're, you know, together and they get, you know, they're cute, they're beautiful. And then after I Would Die For You, they play Baby I'm a Star, which I kind of forgot about this song. And I don't know why, because it's a good song. I like this song. It's very fun. It's a good little ender. And it's a good little ender to this video. To this movie, because, you know, he does all these flips and kicks and splits, and he starts dancing and twerking. And I'm like, okay, Prince, go off then, sir. Go off. And then it's done. That's the end of the movie. And that's the whole album. The whole album is in this movie. So every song that I mentioned is on this album. And I really wish I could play the songs for you so you can tell if you like them or not and look them up. But just look them up anyway. They're worth it. I'm letting you know it's worth it. So with that being said, that is my review of Purple Rain without much context. If you like this video, please like this video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. YouTube is coming for my life already and I only got 200 subscribers. Like, we gotta give them more to play with. Like, I gotta get some more to play with on my end because they got the power at this point. Help me, please. Okay. And if you have any comments or any suggestions for movies, music, TV shows, I'm gonna start doing that. Anything, literally anything you want me to talk about, review, do, or well, not do, because I don't know what y'all, yeah, I ain't gonna ask the internet to let me do stuff. But that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow, hopefully, because I recorded a video for tomorrow and I don't know how it's going. I don't know if I like it, so we'll see. We'll see. That being said, I'll see you. Bye.